Canucks Army has really been shitting on Leafs Nation the last little while. Sam
For
Lafferty,
what?
man, 26 games, 7 goals, 13 points. He's playing in the top 6. He's making $1.15 million this year. Did the Leafs make a colossal mistake, Rosie?
No, because if he was here, he wouldn't be doing any of that. Just like every time a guy comes here and they're surprised that he's not living up to his standard that he played in San Jose. It's like, I'm sorry to tell you, it's mentally, it's very different playing in Toronto. Like, have we not learned that from having prospects or trades go elsewhere and flourish? And have we not learned that from having guys that are flourishing elsewhere come into Toronto and not live up to expectations? Is it just a crazy coincidence? It's very difficult mentally to play in Toronto. There's a spotlight. You're getting accosted all the time by questions and naysayers and people on the street, and you can't really go downtown and XYZ, and everywhere you look, it's what they start with on SportsCenter. It's what they spend all the time with. It's what the insiders come and spend extra time on. It's talking about the Leafs and who's doing this. And every time you get the puck, you just feel like this big old spotlight on you and weight on your shoulders. And then it's difficult to perform as high as you want to. And then you go even to Vancouver, it's much different. You just kind of blend in, do your thing, and all of a sudden you're quietly putting up the numbers you just talked about. It's easier. And then people are trying to go, oh man, we shouldn't have let him go. It's like, Jesus, he was here, you dummy. It's not like we should have got him and didn't. He was already here, and he's not doing those kinds of things. It's more difficult to play in Toronto than it is anywhere else. I'm sorry to tell you, but that is real. That's not just some made up thing.
20 games in, we're seeing articles left and right how the Leafs made a giant mistake. But last time I checked, I was watching training camp, and they tried Sam Lafferty with Matthew Nyes and John Tavares, and he was dog shit, and it just wasn't a good fit. And it happens a lot in the NHL world of sports landscape in general, where a player doesn't work out one place, he goes somewhere else and figures it out. It's a contract year, but I'm not going to lose sleep on Sam Lafferty being a Vancouver Canuck and not a Toronto Maple Leaf. And I guess people are drawing the comparables and saying, well, it was at the expense of keeping Ryan Reeves in the roster. He was always going to be on the roster. And I just don't think you can make an analysis this quickly, considering the Leafs are trying to be built to be a contender in the Stanley Cup playoffs. You can throw 82 out the window. You always laugh when I say that. This team's going to make the playoffs, but are they going to be different to play in the Stanley Cup playoffs? The analytics community, unsurprisingly, are the ones who are leading the pitchfork hunt here on Sam Lafferty, because analytics say this guy's really good at hockey. Do they say he can go through the wars of the Stanley Cup playoffs? Undecided. I thought he was okay last year, not really noticeable. I just think it's way too early to make a proclamation one way or another, Rosie.
Yeah, it is. I mean, you're not going to sit here and burn the place down because a guy that used to be on the team gets hot somewhere else. I mean,
like Sam Lafferty, man. That's who we're talking about.
Yeah, and I mean, remember back when, training camp, we had Max Domi and Tyler Bertuzzi as these new guys coming in to play that depth role and to play that style of hockey. And you can talk about them and being a little bit disappointing. I think Bertuzzi, I expect a little bit more out of him. I thought that he would be more noticeable. I thought that you would see him. I thought he would be a bigger, have a bigger effect in the games that we were playing than I do. I don't notice him out there. Sometimes I just kind of see his jersey, but he's not doing a whole lot. Max Domi just scored his first goal, got his eye pumped shut the week before. I thought that he'd play with bigger edge. I thought he'd play a little tougher. I thought he'd be, more of a force to be reckoned with, playmaker, and it hasn't gone that way so far, but we're 20 games in. And I think these guys need a little bit of time. And like you say, there's going to be a time where those guys get hot, their numbers look good, and guess who's not going to be spoken of anymore? Sam Lafferty. Mm-hmm. So it's just the flavor of the week right now. He's doing in Vancouver. Like you say, he's a good hockey player. It's not like when we let him go, he was going to go into the abyss and never be heard of again. I mean, why would you expect that? So it is what it is. It's just typical Leafs to see a guy leave and have success elsewhere.
Congratulations, Vancouver. You got a good one in Sam Lafferty. We'll see how he fares in the Cup playoffs if you actually get there. Make sure to check out more of our content right here on the Leafs Nation YouTube page. We got long-form interviews. We got clips. We got epic rants by Jay Rosehill. We simply have it all. And don't forget, you can find out much more at theleafsnation.com. Thanks so much for watching.